This strategy has worked since the beginning of time, and it'll work for us as well. But we must get organized in order to implement it. Last year, 46% of our state reps and 16% of our state senate ran unopposed. This sends the wrong message and leads legislators to believe we like the way they are behaving in the legislative season. How else would you explain the lack of a challenger during election season? We're basically rewarding these people for their bad behavior by letting them run unopposed. This is something I'm hoping citizens like you will strive to change. We need people to run for local office, school boards, state offices, federal offices. We must find citizen candidates who will run against special interests, party loyalists, and self-serving politicians, and encourage them to run for the offices high and low. And we need to do it now. By the way, Delco for Liberty next Saturday, is running a class on how to run for local office. It's down in Delaware County, a bit of a hike. If anyone's interested in running, they will be holding a class next week on how to go about it. If not interested in running yourself, maybe you could help somebody. I left information over there by the white tent on the left for Campaign for Liberty there about that. We need to also get organized. You should write this down. This is a good axiom I have, is success is determined by the number and effectiveness of activists on each side. Let me restate that. Success is determined by the number and effectiveness of activists on either side. It's really that simple. We need to grow our numbers and increase our effectiveness, which brings me to the Campaign for Liberty. The Campaign for Liberty was started by Congressman Ron Paul after his presidential race. It has over 1,700 supporters in Pennsylvania, over 200,000 members worldwide. As a 501c4, we are permitted to lobby and educate the public. We have the most sophisticated website out of any organization I've been involved with, and I've been involved with many. In addition to communications and social networking tools, they have educational and training materials as well as videos. Our goal is to train local coordinators in every precinct in the country to work within their communities to identify and network with neighbors who share our concerns. Right now, we have 2,573 coordinators. Soon they will be actively working to identify folks in their neighborhoods who are with us on various issues. Neighbors we can inform and mobilize on the matters that are important to them. Neighbors we know will stand with us on individual liberties, limited government, foreign policy, or sound currency. A lot of the problems confronting us now are a result of our apathy, lack of attention, misguided trust in politicians, and party politics. I want to ask all of you here today not to give up. They are waiting for you to become frustrated. They want you to go home. They want for you to become to concede the fight, so that they can continue to control our nation, steal our wealth, and enslave future generations with overwhelming debt. It has taken 100 years or more of voter apathy and frustration to create the mess we find ourselves in now. We must recognize that it will take a long time, individual sacrifice, and activism to clean it up, and we must be prepared to go the distance. Please consider joining with us at the Campaign for Liberty. We have the leadership, organization, and determination to fight this battle. Help us increase our numbers and the effectiveness of activities on our side. Effectiveness of activists on our side. We are already making a difference. Consider our success with H.R. 1207, a congressional bill introduced by Ron Paul, which would authorize the Government Accounting Office to audit the Federal Reserve for the first time since its inception in 1913. We call it the Show Us the Money bill, since it would force the Federal Reserve to reveal which financial institutions received over $13 trillion in bailouts and loans. That is something the Federal Reserve has not been willing to divulge to date, despite the promises for transparency that accompanied the Bush bailout and the Obama stimulus package. So as a result of our efforts and overwhelming support by the American people, that bill has now 290 co-sponsors in the House and 28 in the Senate. Well, yeah. Right, and that's a lot of your efforts that made that happen, and we aren't done. We need more co-sponsors for the Senate version of the bill, S604. Neither of our senators have signed on as a co-sponsor, so please stop by the Campaign for Liberty table and sign a petition urging our senators to co-sponsor S604. And while we're on the topic, please be sure to contact your congressman for 2 reasons. First, if you're from this district, let Congressman Joe Pitts know you appreciate him signing on as one of the co-sponsors, one of the 290 co-sponsors of H.R. 1207. He has a pretty good voting record, by the way. Then let him know we want the bill to come up for a standalone vote, because there is concern now that our opposition may attach this legislation to some hideous spending bill, and if that happens, many of the co-sponsors would be forced to oppose the bill they've co-sponsored. So let's keep the pressure on them to do the right thing. Throughout history, the quest for freedom has been a struggle. We need to act now to preserve what remains of our freedoms others gave their lives to attain for us. With diligence and activism, I'm confident we can find a peaceful solution. I look forward to working with all of you to secure the promise of liberty and a better America for our children.
Thank you, David Jahn.